Okay, if our four panelists want to come onto the stage, while they come up to stage, I'll introduce them that way, and then I'll introduce myself. But to my right here is Lizette Ludwig. Lizette is a nurse practitioner with over 15 years of experience in aesthetics and dermatology. Love the shout out. She is the founder of Beam Aesthetic Lounge, and she has created a medical spa that integrates advanced skin treatments with injectable treatments, all aimed at achieving natural looking results. Her passion for enhancing beauty and promoting skin health drives her commitment to providing exceptional care and transformative experiences for her clients. So thank you for being here, Lizette. To her right, we have Lauren Goldfaden. Lauren Goldfaden is a visionary in the skincare industry, pioneering innovative plant-based solutions as the co-founder of Goldfaden MD and founder of Mini Bloom. Her passion for creative, safe, effective products shines through in her commitment to revolutionizing skincare for both adults and the youngest members of the family. And next to her, we have Nyakio. Oh gosh, I just asked her how to pronounce it before I stepped on. I already forgot. Apologies. Nyakio Grieco is the founder of Relevant Beauty and co-founder of 13 Lune. Yes, feel free to sit down. 13 Lune is the destination designed to inspire the discovery of beauty brands created by BIPOC founders, and Relevant is also a clean, science-led skincare brand that works for all skin tones and types. Nyakio has been honored with the CEW 2023 Female Founder Award, the Beauty Matter 2023 Future 50 Award, and is included on the Inc. magazine's 2023 and 2024 Female Founders 200 list. Powerhouse. Thank you for being here. Finally, but not least, the woman of the people, we called her earlier. Sara Happ. Sarah's the founder. She is the founder of Sara Happ Inc. She's trademarked the Lip Expert, having created the first ever lip scrub in her kitchen 20 years ago. Today, her brand of luxury lip products is sold in 20 countries. Her favorite title is, and will always be, Julia's mom. So sweet. We love the family, ladies. My name is Leanna Haakons. I am the founder of Blackhawk Financial. We are a business development, investor relations, and marketing firm based in New York and Los Angeles, and we help founders and funds raise capital, build out any kind of growth advisory services that they require to build and sustain their incredible companies, led by women and men as well. So I would love, on that note, having given a brief introduction to each of our panelists that are breaking beauty standards today, I'd love if each of you could say a little bit more about your current initiatives and the business that you're working on right now, and what was your inspiration for founding it. So let's start with Lizette and Beam.
Hi, everyone. My name's Lizette, and I have a medical spa in Manhattan Beach, and we really focus on skin health, skincare treatments, skincare products, and combining all that with injectables to deliver natural outcomes for our patients. So that was really my goal in starting Beam. I've been in aesthetics and dermatology for over 15 years, so I really saw the need to create something that was a little more supportive and also, inspiring for women to really help them on their aesthetic journey, because I think it can be a little overwhelming sometimes. We don't know where to start, what to do, and just starting with like a simple skincare product can really make a big difference, and then kind of taking it from there to skin treatments and then injectables and then maintenance.
Thank you, Lizette. Lauren?
Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Goldfaden, one of the co-founders of Goldfaden MD, which is the first dermatologist-developed naturally inspired skincare range. My father-in-law is really the mastermind behind the foundation of the formulas in bringing solutions to the common skin concerns. And I think we like to think of ourselves as sort of providing the highest level of treatment on a shelf without having to go see your doctor. And I founded Mini Bloom, which is a USDA certified organic toddler and baby line 3 years ago. We launched, and it primarily focuses on sort of the key core needs of supporting your little one when you get home. So I am definitely in the beauty space. I'm fascinated by ingredients and really sort of the delivery systems. So it's exciting to be here, and that's a little bit about what I do.
Thank you. Nyakio?
Hi, I'm Nyakio Grieco, and I've been a beauty founder for over 23 years. I started my first beauty brand based on family beauty secrets from Kenya. I'm a first-generation American and created that line based on recipes passed down to me from my medicine man grandfather and coffee farmer grandmother. Exited that business in 2017, and in 2020, in the midst of the pandemic and the racial reckoning, found myself on a lot of those listicles of top Black-owned businesses to shop and follow, and that's sort of when I had my aha beauty moment, where I decided to create 13 Lune to be the first of its kind, inclusive beauty retail platform, highlighting 90% of the brands are brands by people of color, but really highlighting what I believe to be the best global beauty brands on the planet. So we started as a platform and also partnered with JCPenney. So we have 613 Lune stores within JCPenney. And then we have a flagship store on Larchmont. And I'm a mom to Lulu, who turned 19 yesterday, and Rocco, who's 14.
Amazing. Thank you. And Sara, Lip Queen.
Thank you. I'm Sara Happ, and I started my business largely inspired by Nyakio, who was one of the first founders to start with a body scrub. I started 20 years ago, so she has several years on me. I created a lip scrub in my kitchen because there were none. Literally, Google returned no results for lip scrub, so I was like, I can make that in my kitchen. I think I know what to do. And I've just been building ever since. So for 20 years, I've been studying lips, lip health, what's wrong with products in the lip market space, answering the question, am I addicted to my lip products? My answer is yes, you are, because lip products are made to dehydrate and get you addicted. So we want you to be obsessed at Sara Happ. So I'm a lip nerd, really. What I am, though, in my work life is a proud ally of 13 Lune. I get to be one of her ally brands on her shelves, and it is the greatest honor of my work life. And then, yes, I'm mom to Julia, who's 11.
Amazing. Thank you, Sara. Thanks to all of you. So I want to start off with a question for each of you, and we'll reverse it. We'll go back to Sara first on this one. Hope you're ready. It's a high-pressure stage today. So I want to know, what is it like to be a beauty founder in this competitive market today, given the growth of e-commerce over the years, since many of you have started your businesses, big box stores like Sephora and Ulta dominating on the shelves and dominating the retail side of business. How has those changes over the years since you've gotten started really shaped the business that you have now and shaped you as a founder?
I've never felt competitive. I really don't see competition when I look out. So I see like inspiration. The competition, I'm very heads down. I stay kind of in my lane by nature, right? We're a lip brand. We do one thing. And yes, I see knockoffs of our stuff all the time. But I'm sort of, and sometimes I get annoyed. On the wrong day, I'm like, are you kidding me? But on the right day, I'm just like, okay, you just validated what came out of my brain when I was in my own bathtub. So I think rather than focusing on how competitive it is, I just focus on how I can innovate and kind of outrun. I'm not really looking at them, but I'm running. So it's just a matter of like constantly innovating, looking for holes in the market, and staying positive and like knowing that what I put out is as good as it possibly can be, and like resting in that. If you focus on competition, for someone like me, it would just make me absolutely crazy. I've actually asked friends to stop sending me knockoffs, like screenshots, because I'm like, it doesn't help, it's all noise. So I don't really pay attention to stuff like that. And really, you call me a woman of the people, that's so sweet. Like, I know all three of these women up here. I look to women that are doing things in any area of life. And I'm like, that's possible. Like, you've just proven something is possible. Like, rather than, Kale launched at Sephora UK last year. And I'm like, I want to launch at Sephora UK. And then I was like, no, she's just saying that's possible, So I think it's just looking at people as inspiration.
Well, it sounds like KO, you have a lot of experience then with the online and offline sales. Tell us about some of your experience in this competitive space.
Yeah, I mean, much to Sarah's point, I mean, I'm a beauty founder turned beauty retailer, and still a beauty founder because I forgot to mention I also have a skincare and cosmetic brand called Relevant. And I basically started a business in 2020 and sell 156 brands of people who have the same job as I do. For me, the way I look at, I see it less as competition and I see it more as opportunity and white space. And so in creating 13 Lune and even in creating my second beauty brand, I really just felt there was an opportunity to make the beauty industry even more inclusive and to help people better see themselves reflected at shelf, to be able to celebrate, indigenous ingredients that come from all over the world. I mean, it really is a global experience. We have brands from South Asia and East Asia and Africa and beautiful brands like Sara. And we also have like Olaplex and then Bomba Curls from the Dominican Republic. We wanted it to be this destination for discovery, but really in the process of discovery, really celebrating where so many of the ingredients that we use across a multi-billion-dollar industry were cultivated in marginalized parts of the world. And so we just wanted to be steeped in that storytelling. So for me, I sell my brand Relevant into Sephora in the UK. I'm still besties with all of my former buyers for my first brand at Ulta. And I do truly operate from the place that there's room for all of us. That being said, being shelf ready is important. Being well capitalized, if you so have to be capitalized, is important. And I do think that the business is cyclical. And as we kind of move through time, because there are an absorbent amount of brands right now and brands that are pre-sold on TikTok that are made in a week, et cetera, I do think there will be a natural evolution of maybe not so many brands, but just more intentional brands at shelf. And I look forward to that.
Yeah, I'm not on TikTok, but I would love to have one of those kind of like boom brands. Maybe I should get TikTok just to have one of those, hopefully. Lauren, what have your experience has been in this competitive space?
I can understand sort of what everyone has mentioned. We launched the brand in 2013, and at that time, there was an emphasis to put up a website because it was a way to provide people with a little bit more information of products, and D2C brands were just beginning. Today, I think we can all say that 95% of our purchases probably come from, the website and digital, platforms. And so I think as a founder, and as a business owner, you have to be aware and flexible into the different distribution channels that exist and be open-minded to the new ways of shopping, but also be extremely mindful of who you are as a brand. We are a dermatologist-developed physician strength treatment-oriented brand, and so we don't follow trends. We know our place. I think it's really about focusing in on your messaging and understanding your consumer and doing the analytics on sort of what that customer profile look like in order to continue to tell your story in an effective way, but be aware of what exists in sort of the shopping habits and sort of the landscape and environment. So I guess to continue to be true to who you are as a brand, but also be able to be mindful and flexible into where consumer habits are changing and evolving as well.
And Lizette, you obviously have a brick and mortar business, Manhattan Beach. I would love to know how online, like digital marketing, affects your vision as a founder and how that affects your business that is purely brick and mortar, but obviously is influenced a lot by online and digital too.
Yes, it is. Well, I would say I'm a newer business because even though I've been doing this for over 15 years, I've always worked in dermatology practices. So I have a lot of experience in dermatology and aesthetics. And I just wanted to create something a little bit different from the medical model, but also because I am a provider, I'm a nurse practitioner, first and foremost, that, we always put our patient safety first. So that is always important to me. But as far as like competition, or I would agree with Sarah. I don't look at things that way. I'm very collaborative with other providers around me and other medical spas. There's a lot of medical spas around. I really try to just focus on what our client, on their needs, on like what we're good at, on our niche, and we are a service. We're providing a service for our patients, and also we have the online space as well. I would really like to grow more in the online space. We're working on creating a really great community because I really want to focus on the patient experience. Like, there are people that can't afford to come to our medical spa, but what can we offer them? How can we make them feel a part of Beam, even though they may not be able to come in and have a treatment, So that's kind of what my focus is on for the future.
That'll be cool to see what you can build up from that, whether it's like skincare workshops, how to take care of your skin. You can buy this online and watch our videos or something like that.
And we do have products that we're working on and they are more dermatology backed and with, so they're more science backed and they're very effective products that we have to be careful, like we can't just sell them out to everybody. They do really require maybe some type of consultation or.
Cool. Yeah. I look forward to seeing more of that.
Thank you.
I have some individual questions for you guys. We'll start with Lauren. Lauren, so Goldfaden is a dermatologist-driven, efficacious, clean beauty skincare line. Very popular word being used now, clean, which I would love for you to actually define for us because the word gets thrown around in marketing a lot. You're not just sold in the US, but in the EU as well, which means your products meet EU's rigorous requirements. Would you say that this is one of your differentiators in the market? I could answer that for you and probably say yes. Everybody loves the French pharmacy, European skincare products. But yeah, how has that really affected your business and become a differentiator for you?
I think going back to the first part of this is defining clean, and it's a very clouded conversation. For us, it's I think being EU compliant is not a differentiator for us necessarily. It's part of our DNA. My father-in-law, who's been formulating products for 40 years, formulates with what he deems is without skin fillers or product fillers, which nowadays are sort of categorized in this bucket of harmful chemical, leading skin irritant style of ingredients. And so I think by nature that automatically funneled us into this clean beauty space. Simultaneously, we are using sort of the latest advancements in a natural or botanical based substance. And so I think the discovery, what's so exciting about the beauty industry is sort of the alternative ingredients that are popping up and that are being discovered that fall into this natural category. And the differentiator for the EU versus the US, I think just for context, the US has, I think now 14 banned ingredients that are not allowed in personal care products. The EU works off of a completely subset, different platform. I think they have about 1,400 ingredients that are banned. And so I suppose it provides a little bit of more sort of safety or justification on the products. It's not a differentiator. I think the differentiator for us is really honing in on the clinical sort of the treatment orientation of the range and a way to provide patients with or consumers with at-home solutions to the common sort of treatments that are found in office. So. That was a lot. I touched a lot.
No, I'm also adding like secondary questions to all of your questions because I want to know more. So that's kind of my fault. But what is it going to take for someone to define is there a stand? Is there ever going to be a standard around a clean beauty product, something that's labeled as clean and marketed that way?
Listen, I think it's unfortunately, I don't know. Because I think that it's very personal. It's, you could say, and clean is not necessarily synonymous with safety and good for you, right? Clean could be something that maybe an ingredient that 90% of people are allergic to. So I think it's about, understanding more about, I like to focus on what the product is going to do for you, not what the product is made without. I think that should be the primary focus first and foremost. And obviously there are elements to safety. I think for us, the EU, there is a safety assessment that goes in and is required for all of those products to be deemed safe. And I think with that, I suppose it provides sort of that comfort level. The U.S. is unfortunately probably the worst market in the world because we don't have a governing body that deems what clean is or what a safe product is. It's really the FDA, which is an OTC. So anyway, it's jumbled, very complicated.
Well, thank you for your thoughts. Sara, you bootstrapped a coveted lip care brand focusing on one hero product at a time and built a cult-like following in boutique stores across the U.S. How did you do that? And your add-on question, if you were to do it all over again starting today, would you do it any differently?
Yes, I would. I did bootstrap for 19 years. We're in year 20 right now, and that is an exhausting thing to do. I would also say I didn't really have a choice. A good friend, probably you said it at one point, but I've been told before, I should have raised money earlier. So basically bootstrapping is you put every penny that you make back into the company, you go lean and mean, you might scale slower. It did force us to focus on one product at a time and really give our products the R&D they deserved and the moment they deserved. But it is exhausting. You're really just watching every penny. I would say in today's environment, probably around 2009, 2010, female funds began rising up. So women began investing in women. I started in 2005. Like, I was called adorable, when I'd walk into rooms. Or, it just was a different climate. So I had kind of no choice but to bootstrap. But more founders began rising up, putting their names on things, putting their branding on things. And particularly in beauty, there are a lot of fantastic private equity firms that do invest in women. And that is relatively new, and it took a lot of brands to prove a lot of sales power to get those funds up and running. So I didn't necessarily have a choice. No one wanted to write me a check in 2005. I raised $19,000 from my USC friends. We were all 25 and had $1 to our name, But in today's climate, it's a marriage. An investment is a marriage. So I would find the right partner, and I would marry the right partner at the right time with counsel and talking to other people that have done it. So find mentors, find people that have won and lost in the private equity game or in the angel investor space, and then know it's a marriage. Go into it like a marriage, and be very careful who you choose.
Thank you. And we're definitely going to talk about raising capital in a little bit because it's kind of what I do and very important. And it's difficult, especially in this environment. Nyakio, after launching, building, and selling Nyakio skincare to Unilever, amazing, right? Round of applause. Congratulations, big exit. You then co-founded 13 Lune to give Black-owned beauty a prominent space on the shelf, so to speak. What was the story behind this?
Yeah, so sort of, as I spoke about earlier, just showing up on all of those listicles, and really being surprised. And it's not just Black-owned beauty. It's we have more Latina, Latinx, and Hispanic beauty brands at 13 Lune than any other retailer in the world. As I mentioned before, Korea, South Asia, et cetera, is where we really want to bring people into discovery. But yes, at that time, we're in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of the most heightened moment of a racial reckoning that we had seen in our lifetime, and I was shocked about how much attention myself, Nyakio, and the brand Nyakio were getting based on these really heartbreaking times. And I was even more shocked when I would be on a list of 500 brands, 1,000 brands, and it went from Black-owned brands to BIPOC-owned brands, how many brands I'd never heard of before. And so, I started my first brand in 2002. 2017 is quite some time to an exit, and I knew while I had many wins, I had so many challenges getting there, and I was also watching initiatives like the 15% pledge happening, and beautiful initiatives, but I also understood how hard it was to win at shelf. And I started to sort of panic about all of these stores running into these major retailers with their tiny little brands and no funding, and how were they going to survive? So I really wanted 13 Lune to be the answer of this, space where we could really nurture these brands, have this cool new beauty discovery omni-channel experience. It's very editorial, like a Goop or a Violet Grey. We do a lot of storytelling online. And then once I did not believe retail was dead, that we were going to be able to go into stores, and got the JCPenney deal and then open the Larchmont store. It really served as this place where the brands could really focus on the brands and how to scale without all the pressure of paying to play. And maybe, many of them had no investment especially because we have a lot of women and people of color own brands. Stats aren't great, and I knew how difficult it was to get to that place. Since I became a founder, I also want to end with saying that the landscape is dire at times, but it's also changed dramatically. And as a founder myself that's told I have less than 0.06% of raising venture funding, I've raised over $16 million through the lifetime of my career. So it's possible for women, it's possible for people of color. It's just finding, to your point, the right investors that see what the future is going to look like.
Amazing, thank you. Lizette, in the highly competitive clinical spa market, especially in Los Angeles, you managed to rise above the noise with an established clientele base, offering treatments like microneedling, PRP facials. What keeps bringing clients back to you and your med spa?
Well, we really focus on client relationships as well. So when our patients come in, we really focus on giving them a treatment plan for the year. So it's not just you're coming in, getting your Botox, and that's it. It's like, you're going to come in, we're going to talk about what skincare products you're using, what kind of, what your skin type is, and we formulate a plan for them so they feel like, okay, I have a plan, I have something to go by, and building trusting. Right now, we're really working on building those foundational relationships with our patients that keeps them coming back. So the client experience is very important to us. And focusing on our niche, on what we're good at and why our patients come back. I ask let's say I'll pick 5 patients and I ask them why do you guys come, why do you come and see me? And they tell me, and I really hone in on those details. So really focusing on the client experience and listening to our clients.
Amazing, thank you. So we only have a couple of minutes left, but obviously capital raising and, bootstrapping it along the way as a founder is so important. Just a quick show of hands, are there any other founders of not necessarily beauty, but anything in the room? Amazing. So very relevant question, yes. Clapping for everyone. Capital raising environment right now is extremely challenging. The last few years, obviously it's much my space. You guys are probably having to continue to raise money all the time. Have you all had to raise money for your company? If not, or if you did, or you continue to have to do that, what would be some tips that you would give to other founders in the room, and how do you sort of view capital raising right now?
Well, right now we're self-funded, so I probably wouldn't be the best to give
No, but people want to know though too. That's important because I mean, I've bootstrapped my company too. I haven't taken any investment yet.
Yeah.
Sarah did it, but then have you done capital raising at some point since then, or?
Yeah. So 2020 really did cancel lips. So there's this thing called the lipstick index. Leonard Lauder coined it, meaning in times of economic distress, lipstick and lip products rise. You can't afford your $2,500 Chanel something, but you can afford your $25 Chanel lipstick. So 2008, 2009 were really rough economic times. Our sales tripled because people were looking for those little luxuries. We did not, and I'm sort of like an optimist pessimist. I'm always the best thing could happen. And I could get hit by a bus. Anything's possible. I did not, so we always kind of plan for the worst and hope for the best. We didn't see a global pandemic coming where masks would cover the only part of your body that we do. yikes. So like us in deodorant, not so much, you know? It was tough. So that really, I'm proud of the company. I'm proud of my team for surviving COVID because zoops, people were buying lip products. And then that led to bringing on an investor in 2023. Not selling the company, but bringing on an investor. And, you know, that was really helpful because we were at a place where, you know, you have to make a decision when the rubber meets the road. Do we want to grow? Do we want to stay the course? And I'm 20 years in. I have an 11-year-old. At some point, you're kind of like exhausted, you know? And that's when you have to, you know, make a decision. So it was, yeah, I gave up equity and brought in some money.
And has it been positive experience since then? Like, are you glad you did it?
Yeah, I mean, you want to scale, you want to grow. You want to see things come to life that you couldn't have otherwise made possible. So like, you know, I have 3 things in my bag right now that we're working on in R&D that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to fund. So we still want things to be precious and have their moment, but also my brain just spins with lip products 24/7, even in my dreams, and I just want to be able to put out there what's in here.
Nyakio and Lauren, any capital raising experiences or tips for other founders?
I think tips would be where I would start, which is don't take dumb money. I have definitely had some of the most incredible investors, and it's like a marriage that Sara said, and it's not just about the check, it's about the strategy behind that check. And so I've done it both ways. I've done it where I gave up too much of myself. There was no strategy at all in that choice that I took. I didn't vet the people. Always ask at least 3 people that an investor has invested in, take them to coffee, ask all the questions, ask them about their experience. Didn't do that a couple times, did not play out well, but were really incredible lessons. And I think the way that I look at investment now is it's an invitation into our visions as founders, and to be really bold about that and not play small, because that's how you tend to attract the right strategic partners when they have a shared vision, if it's mission aligned, if they're passionate about beauty. Yeah, that works way better. So vet 3 people with any investor if you choose to do so. Friends and family is also a really great round to do first. Just, you know, bringing like-minded people that you know or people that they know into that round, and yeah, find people that you want to be married to and bring good strategy.
Well, that's a tough question. Who do you want to be married to? Still trying to figure that out. Lauren, any final tips on capital
I think,
raising?
you know, we've done some angel investing in friends and family, and I think that we will probably go out and look for a partner. But I think that what everyone is saying and what we believe, it's about finding the right strategic partner that believes in your vision, and also as a company understanding what it is that you're raising money for and having a very clear vision into the path forward, because I think it's sort of easy to say, I can't do this on my own and I just need money, and that's where it gets you into a place where it may not be a successful relationship, but really understanding what it is that what your goals are and what it is that you're raising money for, which is something I think changes, and also you may not know just launching a brand. I think it's important to be in market, to fail, to have sort of those challenges, so that you can understand where your place is, where your footing is, and where you want to be.
Amazing, thank you. So we ran out of time for Q&A, but the ladies will be just to the side of the stage here if anyone wants to run up and ask them a couple of questions. I was just going to say as a final note, Laura Gerson just walked out of the room. She's the lady in the back there looking for someone that's running the show today. She's the co-president of Los Angeles Venture Association and the founder of Venture F, which she was talking about at the end of the last panel. Both of those, if you sign up for their distributions, are really good resources for female founders and getting in the know with like the different women's run funds and private equity groups and stuff that are investing in female founders. So those are 2 really good resources, Venture F and the Los Angeles Venture Association, which I don't know if you guys are involved in. I moved here from New York very recently, but I'm already on the board of a couple of those things now too. So very good resources. Thank you so much to our panelists today. I appreciate your time. Feel free to come up and ask them questions too if you like.